If someone told you Nigeria was sitting on a crop that could generate billions of dollars annually, boost exports, create thousands of jobs, and reduce dependency on imports, all without oil, you might think it's too good to be true. But that crop is real and is growing quietly across over 20 states in Nigeria, and that crop is coconut. What many Nigerians see as just another fruit on the roadside is in fact one of the most underutilized but highly lucrative agricultural resources in the country. With global demand for coconut-based products soaring, Nigeria's coconut industry is a sleeping giant on the brink of awakening. Let's explore the untapped potential of this industry and why now is the time to pay attention.
I will say that it's very lucrative. Even the street demand for coconut alone cannot be met. The value chain is so big. There are factories which are, adding value to coconut water, the coconut meat, coconut oil, and all the byproducts we get from coconut. So it's in very high demand. I will say it's quite profitable because if I do the math, right, if one coconut tree, so the coconut takes about 4.5 to 5 years to start first fruition, depending on the type of breed you cultivated. So I would say in about 5 years you will start seeing your first fruit. The first fruit usually doesn't come much, but if you take very good care of the trees, you'll be able to get, let's say, 20-30 fruits per first fruit, and multiplied by the size of farm or the number of trees you have.
Coconut is cultivated in 22 states across Nigeria, with Lagos State leading the charge, producing an estimated 70% of the nation's output. Other notable producing states include Akwa Ibom, Delta, Ogun, Ondo, Ekiti, Rivers, and Taraba. Currently, Nigeria produces around 300,000 metric tons of coconut annually. Yet, this is only a fraction of what is needed to meet local consumption and processing demand, creating a huge supply gap that is being filled with imports.
In spite of the large coconut plantation in Badagry, Lagos State, and the coconut refinery in Akure, Ondo State, among others, coming from across the country, a lot needs to be done to increase coconut production. For instance, this is one of the biggest refineries in Akwa Ibom State, in need of 1 million nuts on a daily basis for production. It therefore means that there is a readily available market, but with supply shortfall. Stakeholders are raising awareness to promoting coconut production for sufficiency and job creation.
Despite its overlooked status, Nigeria's coconut sector is already worth over $1 billion in business transactions annually, and industry experts believe that with proper investment, high-yield hybrid varieties, and better infrastructure, this value could soar to several more $billion annually. The profit potential for farmers is impressive. A 10-hectare hybrid coconut plantation can earn between 16 million and 20 million annually, with the trees producing consistently for 30 to 60 years, depending on the variety. Coconut is one of the most versatile crops in the world. Over 300 different products can be derived from it, making it a gold mine for processors and entrepreneurs. Some of the most in-demand derivatives include coconut oil, used in food, beauty, and pharmaceuticals, coconut flour, coconut milk, coconut water, coconut snacks, bread and beverages, cosmetics, charcoal, textile, and fertilizers.
Well, I would say coconut is very capital intensive. Actually, the entire farming business is very capital intensive, depending on the scale of the farm, the size of the farm, and what you are growing. Coconut, I would say, is quite expensive to cultivate, but it pays.
In Lagos alone, there are over 200 registered processors, and between 2020 and 2021, coconut processing increased by more than 500%. Still, domestic supply struggles to keep up with this demand. Despite having the land, climate, and labor force to become a top coconut producer globally, Nigeria still imports 70 to 80% of its coconut, likely from Ghana, Togo, and Ivory Coast. In some years, over 500,000 tons of coconuts are brought in to satisfy the needs of local processors. This heavy reliance on import not only drains foreign exchange but also represents a missed opportunity for local farmers and entrepreneurs. Recognizing the potential, government and private players are stepping in with bold initiatives. Lagos State, in partnership with the Food and Agriculture Organization, is rehabilitating its coconut belt and targeting the cultivation of 10 million coconut trees, aiming to generate over 240 billion naira annually. The Coconut Sufficiency in Nigeria (COS) high-end program seeks to plant 10,000 hectares of coconut trees across the country by 2027. A state-funded refinery in Lagos with capacity to process 300,000 coconuts daily is under development, supported by an 11,000-hectare plantation to ensure consistency supply.
We spent a lot because the maintenance of the farm, you have to religiously maintain the farm. We do insect control, we do pest control at the early stage, we do the weed control and all the fungal controls that you have to do. And all of these things, you need the chemicals and the manpower to do this work. So it's quite expensive, but that is not to deter people from going into it, because you can start small. I started with only 3 acres. Initially we were doing only plantain. We did 3 acres, and then we changed from plantain to coconut, and then we scaled up to 10 acres, and then from 10 acres to 30 acres, and then we now at 50 acres with 5,000 trees.
Despite all the promise, several roadblocks still hinder Nigeria's coconut industry: lack of access to hybrid seedling, limited mechanization and poor irrigation system, inadequate government funding and farmer support, poor access to organic pesticide, manure and modern tools, fragmented value chains, and weak farmer cooperation. Shockingly, countries like Ghana, Mozambique, and Tanzania outperform Nigeria in coconut production, even though Nigeria has more arable land and a larger population. Nigeria has a golden opportunity to become a top global exporter, but only if it can scale up production to meet both local and international demand. Investors and entrepreneurs should pay attention to Nigeria coconut industry. Why? The coconut industry offers high return on investment, as the long-term profitability from coconut plantation is unmarked by many other crops. Global demand is rising, with coconut products being sought after across multiple sectors, from food and beverages to beauty and wellness, particularly in Europe, Asia, and North America. Nigeria already has a head start thanks to existing processing facilities, access to coastal trade routes, and increasing public awareness. More government support is growing, with policy frameworks and public-private partnership gaining momentum to accelerate the sector's development.
Our target for this year is for us to plant a minimum of 2 million trees. And we have 4 states as our entry point: Nasarawa, Kogi, FCT, and Jigawa as our entry point for the first phase of this project. And what do we intend to achieve? By the time we have landowners, we have investors coming together, having an agreement legally agreed. After 4 years, this is what comes to the landowner. After 4 years, this is what comes to the investor. That will boost production, because the way it is, the load will not be on a particular, there will be more like division of labor, and that will boost production of coconut. And when we have this production of coconut, we are looking at Akwa Ibom refinery should be one of the major off-takers. So we've seen the problem, and we are ready to assist them achieve that target of having to break 1 million nuts in a day. And by the grace of God, we'll get there.
So what is the way forward for Nigeria? For Nigeria to unlock the full value of its coconut sector, a coordinated national strategy is essential. This should include investing in research and distribution of hybrid seedlings, creating incentives for commercial plantation and cooperatives, expanding access to mechanized tools, irrigation and training, strengthening local processing capacity and export channels. With the right strategy, Nigeria can not only become self-sufficient but also dominate the African coconut export market.
Schools, organizations, and individuals are the target of the sensitization campaign to enable them key into coconut production.
Technology has come into. You can't compare when we will be farming to when they will be farming at that time. There's a lot of technology that is going to make this farming process easier for us. Coconut flakes, and they are making so much money. If you decide that you're not even business minded and you don't even want to be part of the coconut business, you can decide to be a marketer. You market the products that these processors produce. So in all, everybody has an advantage, everybody is still benefiting from it. Farmer, you're benefiting, processor, you're benefiting, and even the marketer, you're benefiting.
The market is quite open, and because there is so much demand for it that I don't think a single farmer can meet the demand even on the street. Yeah. So just look at the street demand alone and then the industrial demand as well. So it's quite a very open market and quite a lucrative business to tap into.